Hello and welcome to this drum lesson for 1999 by Prince, the fantastic Prince. This is a massive tune, obviously. So we're going to look at the main pattern, which basically is through the whole song. So it's a 2-bar phrase. So I'm going to play it, or I'm going to show you it as if it's just repeating. So there's a few bits where things come in and out, but let's just get down to when all the different sounds are in, what the pattern is. So we're 8th notes, kicks on 1, 2, 3 and 4, so we're sort of playing this 4 to the floor kind of beat. So underneath all of it, we've just got this 4 to the floor beat, which is like this. Okay, so that, 4 to the floor, which means kicks on all of the quarter notes. So layering under the backbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4. So be careful when playing this to try and land those, especially with the snare like really underneath at the same time. We don't want any flamming happening there. So that's your basis for this pattern. Now I've got the sounds here. Well, probably not the original sounds, but sounds that I've found that work. So what you really need is is 2 different sounds. So I'll play the 2 different sounds, and then you can hear these. Okay, so you've got this sound, which is kind of like a sort of snare-esque kind of sound. And then this, which is like a big floor tom. So where this pattern is happening is every 2 bars, every second bar basically, we're doing this. And it's starting on beat 3. Now what that basically is you're playing 3 E and a 4, but the first 2 hits are on your kind of snare sound. So that's 3 E and a 4. And then you're coming back, probably see it better on this. On this guy here. So you're going 3 E and a 4, and then you're going back to the snare sound for the 4 E and the 4 A. So those are the second and last 16th note of beat 4. Okay, so then that's beginning on beat 3. So I'll play it for you with the basis pattern. Now what you'll notice there is that I was actually, when you play it with the drum pattern, to get the backbeat on beat 4, you actually have to drop one of these hits. So the 3 E 3 E and a 4. So you've actually got, instead of playing, actually bringing the right hand to the snare. So yeah, so instead of playing that beat 4 on this sound here, you're playing it on your snare. So you have to play that backbeat with the right hand, and then it frees up the left hand to do the off beats. So again, I'll play it with the snare. So it's like this. Okay, I've stuffed it up a couple of times there, but yeah, you get the idea. It's this. Now, there are some times, like in the intro, where the backbeat isn't played, so you can play it here. It just means, like in the actual track, obviously that's always undelayed. But if you want to play this live with the sounds, you sort of have to subtract that last hit here so that you can play the backbeat, if that makes sense. So yeah, as I say, those hits are 3, E, and A. Sorry, 3, E, and 4, E, A. And obviously the snare will replace that last hit on this pad. Okay, and then there is also a kind of clap sound which happens on beat 4 of bar 1. So this makes sense when it's rolling round, because it's kind of an extension of this kind of sound here, if you see what I mean. So I'll play it with the clap, so the first 2 bars won't have the clap, if you see what I mean. The clap. So it's like this. Okay, so yeah, so that's that extra clap is happening on beat 4 of bar 1. So as I say, that isn't always there. This pattern here is always there every 2 bars, but this clap sound is coming in certain sections, and it drops in the first verse. It drops out completely. And then in the kind of pre-chorus it drops out, and then in the chorus it comes in every 2 bars. And that's kind of the genius bit, really, where this clap is and isn't. It sort of just elevates that the feel of the groove. There's also some crashes on beats 1, but not every time. I've got this quite nice, like, trashy cymbal here, because sometimes there's a big long cymbal, but then quite often there's like a very short. And that cymbal actually is really, really great for it, because it sounds quite like it. So yeah, I'll do it with doing the crash on the 1. So genuinely sort of every 4 bars. So I'll do it with the crash. There you go. Quite tricky, but essentially the pattern is this. Now, a lot of people might not have this SPDS and the sounds, and I've only done this recently. I used to just play it on, like you can play it on toms quite easily. And I actually had some rotor toms here that I used to play it on, and it sounded fine. So you can actually play it on your toms quite easily. So yeah, obviously instead of over here, the first two hits, which are kind of snarey anyway, and it's basically snare floor. It's basically a snare floor sound anyway. So you can quite easily do that. Yeah, and maybe to get that clap sound hitting a cymbal with a snare is kind of clap-esque. So yeah. Yeah, you're literally doing the same thing. And that's how you can play that. Just a little note, the intro, you're just doing, the intro is really nice, you're just doing kicks on 1 and 3, 1 and 3. So it's kind of like, the intro is really nice because it's like not that 4 to the floor thing yet. And then when it comes in, and that's basically still having this same pattern, sound pattern every 2 bars, but you just don't put the snare in. You put the snare in every second one. And it's kind of on the ride doing some... The intro is like... Yep, so, and the intro, just to play it simply, you could just do kicks on 1 and 3 and on the ride. Still sounds really great, I think, playing it like that without the electronic sounds. Because as I say, the electronic sounds are basically snare and floor. Also, another really cool thing I find, oh, this has come away. With Prince, like most Prince tracks, completely come away. The snare is very like electronic, so that's just, and if you just get an old, this one's falling apart, but if you get an old head and just cut it out, literally I've just cut it out, just completely changes it to like a sort of really 80s electronic kind of sounding snare drum. So yeah, I do that a lot. Any sort of 80s tunes that have that kind of electronic snare sound, just stick that on your snare. I mean, yeah, like I say, I think there's some companies that make it. What are they called? snare, fat back snare or something. But yeah, just get an old. It's literally all it is. Just an old head. Just an old head cut out. Yeah, hope that was useful. Thanks for watching. See you next time.